What's up guys, it's Topsy and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be discussing one of the characters from my custom SpeedDuel set, Duel of Fortune Cup, a custom set based around the Fortune Cup arc from the Yu-Gi-Oh 5'Ds anime. Before we do begin, I did want to go and mention real quick that I did already make an entire video talking about everything you should know before going ahead and watching this series. It's not necessary, but it gives you a lot of context as to what decisions I ended up making for each of the characters for this set. So if you're interested in checking that out, it will be linked in the description below. Also, before we do begin, I did want to go ahead and mention real quick that these videos do take quite a bit of time to go ahead and produce, so I would really appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe to show your support for the channel. But with all that being said, let's dive right in. Alright guys, we are once again back, and today I'm really excited to go ahead and share with you guys one of my personal favorite decks that I ended up building for this little series, that being Hunter Pace's strategy. And I'm actually surprised that I managed to build something relatively pretty lore accurate to him as a character while still being in theme with SpeedDuels, and I just had a lot of fun building the strategy. That being said, I don't want to ramble on too much at the beginning, so let's go and begin by talking about both his skills. Alright then guys, so let's go and begin with Hunter's main skill, that being Crooked Champ, and it reads: any effect damage your opponent takes is halved. Once per turn during your main phase, you can activate one of these skills. Effect number 1, reveal one Supersonic Skull Flame or Skull Flame in your hand and place it at the bottom of the deck, then draw one card. Effect number 2, once per duel, you can discard one card, then add one Supersonic Skull Flame from your deck to your hand. And finally, effect number 3, once per duel, you contribute one Burning Skull Head and special summon one Skull Flame from your hand or graveyard. As we can see, we have a lot of really good effects for Hunter's strategy, and if you're unfamiliar with him, he has like a Skull Flame deck, and all these cards are meant to interact with each other to bring out the big boss monster, that being the Supersonic Skull Flame. Additionally, these cards do go ahead and interact with burn damage, so I kind of wanted to go ahead and balance out the fact that these cards do burn your opponent, and you are having a skill that's going to make it easier to bring them out, to go ahead and balance it out by reducing the amount of burn damage you're inflicting to your opponent. So I'd say, like, if you're going to be utilizing a skill that allows you to do a lot easier, it should be reduce the amount of damage, because I don't really like FTK strategies, but I still want the deck to be able to have the same gimmick. But give me your thoughts. Alright then, and as for the second skill, we have Heating Up, and this skill reads: any effect damage your opponent takes is halved. Once per turn during your main phase, you can special summon one Burning Skull Head from your hand or graveyard. That monster cannot be used as synchro material. And there we go, another skill that I think greatly helps the strategy that Hunter has. It also gives the deck a lot of protection, being able to recurse that Burning Skull Head onto the field multiple times to use later on as tribute fodder, and or just to save you a turn to go ahead and set up your combos. Additionally, I put in the safety guard of reducing the amount of burn damage you're dealing to your opponent, that way it doesn't get overboard. And finally, I also did add the whole restriction with not being able to use that Burning Skull Head as synchro material, just so this skill wouldn't be utilized as like a easy way of just bringing out a free monster to the field. I kind of just wanted to keep it thematically for Hunter himself, that's why I made the choices that I did. But give me your thoughts. Alright then, so now that we're done talking about the skills, let's move on to the monsters. And surprisingly enough, he has no tuners. It's going to be just nothing but main deck monsters. And the first one up is going to be Burning Skull Head. One of the main cards in the strategy. He ends up getting 3 copies of this card in his deck just because he used them in the anime as well. Essentially, all this card really does is that if this card is special summon from the hand, it burns your opponent for 1000 damage, which is really strong and can get really out of hand in speed duels. But as I mentioned, with the skills that ended up giving Hunter, it's going to reduce the amount of burn damage your opponent is going to be taking, unless you want to go ahead and summon this card out on your own, which is a little more difficult, but I think I like the way that I balanced it out. So 3 copies of Burning Skull Head. Next up, we have Skull Flame. I kind of want to talk about the Skull Flame cards first before we get into the rest of the deck, just because these are all thematically part of the same archetype. This card is another really interesting card that allows you to go ahead and bring out the Burning Skull Head from your hand every single turn, and it allows you to skip your draw phase to go ahead and add a Burning Skull Head from your graveyard to your hand. So I like the way this card goes ahead and helps out the strategy to go ahead and facilitate the whole gimmick of it. And finally, the whole goal of the strategy is to bring out the Supersonic Skull Flame, which is the main boss monster of this deck. And this card's really cool because it has a fairly simple special summon conditioning where you just have to banish the Skull Flame to the graveyard, but it also gives you a burn effect that burns your opponent for 400 damage per Skull Head in the graveyard. And if you have all 3 of them, that's going to be 1200, which is really, really good. Another cool thing about this card, it does float back into the Skull Flame, so that's really cool. I like this card a lot, really cool boss monster, and I really like the way the deck ended up revolving around it. So moving on to the rest of the main deck monsters, we'll begin with all the level 4s. The next one up is Heavy Knight of the Flame. This card is a Gemini monster with decent stats. For the most part, I like this card a lot just for the very fact that it's in theme with Hunter Pace as a character. We have the fire, we have a zombie, and I think it just fits him really, really well. Additionally, I like the fact that this card also allows him to out synchro monsters because it has the effect where if it attacks a monster that was special summoned, you can go ahead and out that monster, which is really, really cool, and I feel like it fits Hunter Pace really well. Next up, we have Samurai Skull. This card is really great great. It is a walking foolish burial, and it's going to be very, very powerful. I love this card because it allows you to set up the Skull Flame into the graveyard to set up later on for your Supersonic Skull Flame plays in the future. Not only that, but it also has the additional bonus effect where if it's out by an opponent's card effect, it allows you to special summon a zombie monster from the deck. Most likely going to be the Burning Skull Head. After that, we have Skull Conductor, a card that he actually utilized in the anime, so it was very fitting here. Additionally, it has a really cool effect where you're able to special summon 2 zombie monsters that add up to 2k as their attack, meaning you can double summon the Burning Skull Head, which is a really cool play. Continuing on, we have UFO Turtle. This is one of the cards I had considered between Pyramid Turtle or UFO Turtle as one of the recruiters for the deck. I preferred UFO Turtle just for the very fact that it's a more balanced card. Pyramid Turtle can get a little bit out of hand because the special summon condition for it is so much looser because it summons a zombie with 2k defense or less, and that pool of cards is so wide, so I thought let's hold off on that one for now. So UFO Turtle to get access to the Burning Skull Head. The last level 4 for the deck is Skull Meister. I thought this would be an excellent addition to the card pool for speed duels. It's a hand trap, it's a fairly balanced one. We already have cards like De-Synchro and Maxi in the game, so I figured like a card like Skull Meister would be super cool into speed duels. It fits really, really well in Hunter's deck, but give me your thoughts. And last monster up for the deck is Goka, the Pyre of Malice. This is a really cool zombie fire card that fits the deck really well because again, it's really in theme with Hunter as a character. It has a really cool effect where if you control a fire monster, you can special summon to the field, but it's not just a free summon because you do have to give up a fire monster on the field to go ahead and summon this card out. So I think it's a great way of balancing out this card. I think I cooked on this one. Okay then, so next up we have all the spell cards for his deck. First one up being De-Synchro. I think this card works perfectly in this strategy for the very fact that we know that he was trying to beat Jack Atlas, but instead ends up dueling Yusei. And because of the fact that he's trying to face off against all these players that have very powerful synchro monsters, having a way to go ahead and out those monsters seems really, really good. I think this one is a perfect addition to his strategy. Next up, we have Final Destiny, a very powerful card, but it's very difficult to resolve. This is supposed to mimic the speed spell End of Days, which he ended up utilizing in his duel against Yusei, if I'm not mistaken. And I feel like it fits really well. Extremely difficult to pull off, so I feel like it's okay in speed duels. After that, we have Foolish Burial. Obviously enough, it's a reprint and it fits the deck really, really well. Last card up is a really interesting one with Inferno Reckless Summon. Okay, so stick with me. Essentially what this card does, it reads, when exactly one monster with 1500 less attack is special summoned to the field while your opponent controls a face-up monster, that's the condition. You can special summon as many monsters as possible with the same name as the summoned monster from your hand, deck, and or graveyard in attack position. And then your opponent is able to summon that many monsters as well from their hand, deck, or graveyard. So essentially what this spell card is trying to accomplish is that whenever you special summon these Burning Skull Head, this then allows you to go ahead and trigger to special summon the rest of them from your hand and or deck or graveyard, which I think is such a cool way of going ahead and facilitating this in speed duels. For the most part, I like it a lot. I don't think you can abuse it too much in speed duels, but let me know in the comments if there's some crazy combo that I'm not thinking about right now, but I like it a lot. I think it's really cool and it fits him really, really well. Alright then, moving on to the trap cards now. First one up, we have Chaos Burst. This is essentially Sakuretsu armor with a little bit of burn damage. This is a really powerful card. Immediately, I feel like it would go to like 3 or 2 in speed duels ban list, but because we do have cards already that exist that do something similar, I feel like it'd be okay. If you wanted to replace this, you could just put Sakuretsu armor in here, but I kind of was looking for a card that fit more the theme of Hunter Pace. After that, we have Malevolent Catastrophe, a card that we ended up getting printed in Dino City Final Set. This is the main form of background removal that we have for his deck. And then after that, finally for the normal trap cards, we have Trap Hole, a card that I'm surprised we never ended up getting in speed duels. We already have Floodgate, so I figured that this would be fine as well. After that, we have some continuous trap cards. First one up is Skull Lair, and this is another form of monster removal that is a lot more cumbersome for the very fact that you're able to banish any number of monsters from your graveyard, and then you can destroy one monster on the field that whose level is equal to the number of monsters banished by this effect. So if you want to banish a level 4, you have to remove 4 monsters, so on and so forth. I feel like it's a really interesting card for the deck, and because we are dealing with the graveyard a good amount, I feel like it can come up, and I think it's kind of cool. Last up for his strategy, we have Call of the Haunted. I feel like since we got cards like the Premature Burial, Monster Reborn, and we even have a skill that is Call of the Haunted, we can finally get access to this card into speed duels. Really in theme with him as a character, so I think it's about time we got this card. But yeah guys, that's pretty much Hunter Pace's deck. Here is the screenshot of the deck profile, so you can take a look at it. In the description below, I will have the whole deck listed out if you want to go and copy and paste it along with the skills and etc. And then if you want all the high definition pictures I use for these cards, I'll have them all on my Twitter or on my Discord if you want to go and check those out as well. So with all that being said guys, thanks so much for sticking around to the end. I do ask that if you did end up enjoying today's video and would like to support the channel, to please leave a like and subscribe. It goes a long way of helping the channel grow and giving us traction to get more people's eyes on this channel. But if you'd like to take your support a step further, then you can always become a channel member. For only 99 cents, you get a badge next to your name, custom Topsy emojis, and a shout out at the end of the videos. On that note, huge shout out to our current channel members, those being Pushx to Start, Zedric, and finally Sekigano. Huge shout out to all of you guys, and thank you for the continued support on the channel. I can't express just how much I appreciate it from you all. Thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end, and I'll catch you in the next video. See you guys.